I wish I had a video like this before I went to get it done. So I'm like, let me just put everything about my experience in this video. I live in California. I got my piercing at Studio City Tattoos. The most question I get is how much did it hurt? And to be honest, it didn't hurt like so bad. Like as soon as she put it in, obviously there's like a pain, but it wasn't like unbearable. I would say out of a scale of 1 to 10, the actual piercing was maybe a 6. As far as like the healing process, I would also say maybe like a 6 as well, or like a 7. The service fee was like 40, and I want to say the actual jewelry was like 80 or 90. I went in and then they asked you to pick your piercing. So when you first get it done, I'm gonna show you guys my piercing, but like when you first get it done, you can't get like any of the dingly jewelry. So I walked in, I picked out my jewelry, they sterilized everything. It took 10 minutes to sterilize everything, maybe like 10-15 minutes, and then the entire piercing process, I kid you not, took maybe like 10 minutes. I could like give you guys a little thing of how it looked immediately. It was so weird just looking down and seeing like there's a metal bar in my stomach, but they made it really easy. If you're in California and you want to get a piercing, I would suggest them because they did it really well. The first couple of days I had like a little bit of bruising, and then that went away and I'm still healing. She says it takes about 6 months to heal, 6 to 12 months. I'll show you guys my piercing. So this is her right now. And I'm really happy with the way that it turned out. I have no complaints. The girl who did it was like the best way to heal is to like not touch it at all. So that first day, I got it done on my birthday. So obviously I was gonna go out. I had to try on different outfits. So that first day, probably it got touched like when I went out with my friends, and then just like trying clothes on and stuff. So it was hurting more so the first day, like even like putting on your seatbelt, you have to just be very cautious about everything you do. But after that day, I was so just like careful that nothing touched it, that it really didn't hurt at all. Only there'll be times like I'm laying down in my bed and I try to go get something off my bed and it will like move, and then it's like, oh my god, like hurts, but it's not so bad to where I'm like, oh my god, this is unbearable. The piercing aftercare. My piercing lady was like, you should clean your piercing once in the morning and once at night, and like maybe do a soak as well. But there is also such thing as over cleaning your piercing. I think it's important to know like your skin and know your body so you don't over clean it, because personally for me, I felt like 2 times a day, every day, I would more likely infect my piercing versus keeping it clean, just because you're touching it so much, you're moving it around. I think the first couple of days I did it in the morning and at night, and then after the first week I would do it more so like at least once a day. But I definitely was like just cleaning it kind of in the shower, letting water run past it, but like I didn't want to mess around with it so much. When I got my nose pierced, I was cleaning it so much to the point where I feel like I was kind of like fucking with the piercing a little bit, when I shouldn't have really been maybe doing so much, and like moving it around, it causes pain, bleeding, and sometimes I think that can really mess you up more. So personally for me, what worked the best was like the whole first week I was doing the non-iodized sea salt mixes or whatever. I was doing that, and I was taking a Q-tip and I was cleaning it around in the shower as well, like just letting the water run down on the piercing. Sleeping, I will say, was one of those that were like a little bit more difficult, because I don't know how people can sleep on their backs, but I always sleep on my stomach. So sleeping was very uncomfortable for me. I had to sleep on my side, or what I would do is like take my blanket and like kind of like put it like under my chest or under my waist, so like my belly was lifted a little, and I would still like sleep on my stomach. And I still do that kind of till this day. So outside of like that little bit of discomfort, I love it. I love my piercing and I don't regret it at all. I highly recommend if you're considering doing it. then go ahead and do it. Like those things that you want to do, it's like do it. If you don't like it, unless it's a tattoo, then you're kind of stuck. But like my eyebrow, it's funny, the guy at the studio yesterday actually cut my eyebrow. He did a pretty good job, and I was standing up. I was like thinking about getting it for a while, and then when I got it, I ended up loving it. Same with my belly ring, it's like I was wanting it for so long, and then I ended up loving it. So I feel like, you know, try things out. I hope you guys got your questions answered. If you have any more questions, just leave me a comment.